It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Now, some of you will have heard this story from myself many, many times. And I'm about to tell it again, but with the bottle of beer in question. The beer that saved me. The beer that saved my Polish trip. The beer that got rid of my food poisoning, the beer that got rid of my travel sickness, the beer that really saved a trip of a lifetime in Poland. That beer is Żywiec Porter. So the story goes, should we open it first? Let's open it first. It's 9.5% ABV. And that will offer some clue as to why this beer saved me. 9.5% ABV. It's a Baltic porter. It was brewed by the British, taken on by the Polish. So it was a gift. We were taking beer up over the Baltic Sea. And we were brewing it at 4-5%. Little bit like the IPA story. It wasn't getting over the Baltic, it was freezing. It was freezing in the bottom of the ships. So they had to make a stronger porter. We brewed a stronger porter at 10% ABV. Took it up around the Baltic Sea, into Poland, Russia, that area of the world. Offered it to the then Queen, who accepted it and enjoyed it, and the rest is history. This beer style remains, and it's a very big seller in Poland. So, without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. I love this beer. I love this beer. I could have used a long glass. I could have used a long pint glass for this, but I've decided to go with something a little bit more bowl shaped, a little bit more Belgian shaped for this one. Look at this. Look at this for a beer. So I've been to the brewery where they contract brew this. It's not brewed at Żywiec anymore. It's brewed on the Polish-Czech border. I literally went to this brewery and it was brilliant. You have to go down. Their cellars are in the ground, and you go down a lot of staircases. You actually go down into like bunkers. And you're going into the earth, you're going into the, and you can feel it's getting colder. As you're going down the steps, you're getting colder and colder and colder. And it's amazing, because that's where they store the beer. They have to store it cold. And you get down into these fermenters, literally burrowed down into the ground. And it's a big room down there. Amazing, absolutely amazing place. We got a 1 finger tan coloured head on the beer, jet black beer in the glass. Now there's 2 fermenters this beer comes from. One fermenter has its coating still in place. The other fermenter has a scratch down it. And that scratch is when the beer goes into the fermenter. They're all open fermenters, by the way. When the beer enters, that scratch in the fermenter, iron, the beer is exposed to iron. So one beer you have from Żywiec might taste metallic and iron-like, and one may not. Shall we see which one this is? Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful aroma. Chocolate. roastiness. Not very metallic. This might be from the good fermenter. Let's dive in. Very roasty, coffee-like. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beer. Oh, one of the finest beers on this planet. One of the finest beers on this planet is Żywiec Porter. Mouthfeel is creamy, rich, lovely. Bitterness on the back end is absolutely fantastic. Roasted malt in here is incredible. The roasted malt in this beer is just fantastic. What an amazing beer. That 9.5% ABV, the heat off the beer is just fantastic. It's kind of warm in the back of the throat there. It's very, very good. Very, very good. So, story time. First time ever going to Poland. Landed in Poland late in the night. Hungry when I landed. The guys who picked me up, Tomasz Kapira and Ziemek Falat from Brava Pinta. Tomasz Kapira being the largest beer reviewer ever on YouTube with hundreds of millions of views. We jump in the car, put my suitcase in the back of the car, we start driving down the motorway. The guys are like, "You hungry?" I said, "Yeah, I am actually. I'm hungry." Drinking their beer in the car. Pulled off at a gas station. Pizza in warming shelves. And I was like, I really like the look of that pizza. And they were like, maybe not. And I was like, no, I'll be okay. I'm going to have some of that pizza. And I had pepperoni pizza. And it'd been there all day. It'd been there under the hot plate all day. Anyway, long story short, I had food poisoning. Really wasn't very well. Back end firing, front end firing, white as a sheet, ill. But on top of that, I was trying to manage. I was trying to do. It was my first time in Poland. I was trying to do exactly what I needed to do. I was trying to go to these breweries and because they had this whole trip planned out for me. I was going to visit lots of breweries. We're going to do there. We're going to brew beer. We're going to do, we brewed Colby Simon. I was a bit of a mess. I wasn't eating much. They were taking me for meals. I was like, I'll have a bowl of soup. I wasn't eating much. I was trying to drink as much as I could. But anyway, I think we're the second day in now. We're about to go to the beer festival in Wrocław. But we have to go. We go to this brewery. We go to this brewery on the border of the Czech Republic and Poland, and it's where they brewed the Żywiec Porter. So we turned up at the brewery, white as a sheet. The guy was like, "Oh, you don't look very well," but they were speaking in Polish, and they were like, "Yeah, he's ill." And this guy, I remember, he threw his arms up in the air. He went, he said, "I know what to do. I know what to do." And he sat me down in the sunshine on a beer table thing, pub bench. And he come over and he spoke very limited English. And he went, "Do or die, do or die." And he offered me a pint of Baltic Porter from Żywiec. And he said, "This will fix you. This will fix you. And I spoke to Toma Kapira, perfect English. He said, actually, this is it type of thing. This is either going to ruin your whole weekend, or this is going to make you. And I remember holding it cold. They served it to me cold. And I remember sipping at it like tentatively. And I remember instantly the warmth, and it slid down into my stomach was like burning. It was like gurgling. Food poisoning, we've all had it. It was doing that thing. And I remember drinking this beer, and and I was drinking more and more, and I drank the bottle. I drank the whole bottle. I drank the whole, and I remember becoming energized. I remember like, it was like I was rising out of the flames. It was like I remember the feeling because I was so ill. But it was like a superpower. It was drinking this beer, this very beer, and loving it all at the same time. It was like a superpower. Coincidentally, that's a Brava Kapira glass. Brava Kapira glass there. He's a lovely guy. He's a good friend of mine, Thomas Kapira from Poland. He's a really good friend of mine. I haven't seen him for a few years. We must change that. Yeah, but it was like Phoenix out of the flames with this particular beer. I do suffer from travel sickness. I do travel. It's like it's a bit limiting. It's a bit limiting with my travel sickness, and because when you go to places like Poland, you have to travel around. It's not like everything's on your doorstep type of thing. Like the UK, city to city, city to city are all linked up really well with train lines, and in Poland it's like heavily reliant on cars, and it's all heavily reliant on like country lanes, which is beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's very swingy and up and down, and anyway, that's another story. I went to the beer festival in Wrocław the next day, fighting fit, drank loads of beer, and had lots of fun that weekend. And it wouldn't have happened. I would have been in my hotel room for the rest of the weekend if it wasn't for this particular beer. And I will always have great gratitude for this particular beer. I've seen how it's brewed. I've seen the care that goes into the brewing process of this beer. I respect this beer. I have a story to tell with this beer. I love it. I really love this beer. Żywiec Porter. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. One of my favourite beers of all time is Żywiec Porter. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.